Good writing doesn't just show your grammar, it shows your thinking. But how do you actually show your thinking on paper? When an IELTS examiner reads your essay, they're not only asking what you said, but how your ideas connect and flow. What are they really looking for? They're looking for logic, for English that feels fluent, not because of fancy words, but because each sentence links naturally to the next. Each paragraph builds a clear, unified thought. Without that flow, your sentences sit side by side like bricks, solid but disconnected. With it, they become a smooth path of thought. So, how do you build that path? With linking words and connectors. Small but powerful tools that make your English sound joined up, confident, and intelligent. Today, I'd like to build a skill with you, a skill that instantly raises your level of English, whether for IELTS or for real life writing. It's one of the most important ways to show fluency, interest, and command of language. It proves that you can express complex ideas, weigh and contrast opinions, and think in English, not just translate or list facts. This is the difference between writing in black and white and writing in color and tone. You'll see how it works in real IELTS topics: pollution, jobs, technology, people you admire, and hobbies. Topics that I've already discussed and talked about in different videos. Where these connectors, these small words, help you to explain causes, show contrasts, and draw natural conclusions. If you're around B1, B2 level, or aiming for IELTS band 7 to 8, or even 9, this lesson will help you move your writing from clear to convincing. And for learners at A2, B1 level, or band 6 and 7, there's also a simpler companion video that starts from the ground up. It walks through these connectors slowly and clearly so that you can consolidate your basics first. And when you're ready to bring this skill into IELTS speaking, I will also show you how in the next video, because speaking and writing don't use connectors in quite the same way. But first, let's master them here in writing where real fluency begins. Linking words are small but powerful. They don't control your essay like traffic lights. They give it rhythm and shape. They show how one idea grows from another and how thoughts bend and turn naturally. Without them, your sentences stand apart, clear but disconnected, each one starting and stopping too sharply. Remember our earlier lesson on sentence variety, rhythm, and confidence. You have short, compound, and complex sentences. This is the same skill, expressed differently. Without linking words, your paragraphs feel mechanical. There's no hue or color in your writing, no sense of curve or evaluation. Because real thinking isn't just lists, it moves, it shades, and it connects. When you start with using connectors, your writing begins to flow like a river, like your thought, showing cause, contrast, and consequences instead of just statements. That's when your English stops becoming a collection of sentences and becomes real communication. If you're still building the foundations, the companion lesson at the A2, B1, or Band 6-7 level will guide you step by step before you move up to this kind of fluent rhythm. Imagine you're writing about pollution. Without linking words, the paragraph feels connected. For example, air pollution is a serious problem in cities. Many people drive to work every day. The air becomes dirty. people get sick, governments need to take action. That's fine. That's good. But now watch what happens when we add connectors for cause and effect. Air pollution is a serious problem in cities because many people drive to work every day. As a result, the air becomes dirty and people get sick. Therefore, governments need to take action. You see, suddenly the logic flows. Each idea grows and connects from the last one. Next, let's consider the topic of jobs and work satisfaction. Without the connectors, the ideas sound blunt. Some people prefer high salaries, others want meaningful work. It is hard to have both. But when you add connectors for contrast and balance, it becomes although some people prefer high salaries, others want meaningful work. However, it is hard to have both. So that pair, the two, three sentences, instantly adds maturity. You are showing two sides of a question. Next example, technology and online learning. Without connectors, you have only information. Like, technology has changed education. Students can study online. Teachers use new tools. Now you add connectors for addition and consequence. Technology has changed education. Short statement. And then, moreover, students can study online and teachers now use new tools. Therefore, learning has become more flexible than before. You see, now the paragraph has rhythm, sequence, and purpose. Think about another topic, describing a person you admire. Without the linking words, it reads like this. A list. My grandmother worked hard. She helped others. She's my role model. Three short sentences. But when you add reason and connectors, it becomes my grandmother worked hard because she wanted to give her children a better life. She always helped others, and that's why she is my role model. So you see, the connectors give emotion and logic. You're not just describing her, you're explaining why she matters. Finally, let's try a hobby example. Without linking first, it's flat. I enjoy cycling. It keeps me fit. Sometimes the weather is bad. I stay at home, add contrast, and this is how it turns into. I enjoy cycling because it keeps me fit. But when the weather is bad, I stay home. So I do simple exercises indoors instead. See how it gives you cause, contrast, and also the solution. All five examples show the same truth. Linking words make your writing sound logical, organized, and human. They turn sentences into conversation on paper. But balance is also important. Using too many advanced connectors like moreover or furthermore in every line can sound mechanical. Think of connectors as spices. Just enough adds flavor, too much overwhelms. Instead of memorizing lists, focus on the function you need to show cause, because, as a result, to show contrast, but, however, although, and the easiest one to add, and, in addition. And to conclude, you could use therefore, so. So varying them keeps your writing alive and shows control, a mark of higher bands and level. Here's the practice idea. Take any paragraph from your IELTS topics, say your essay on technology or your description of a person you admire. Read it once without connectors. Then add three logical links, one for reason, one for contrast, one for result. Read it aloud and listen for smoother flow. If it sounds clearer, you have made them well. Another exercise, find a model essay online, like from one of my other videos, and highlight the first words of every sentence. Notice how skilled writers rarely begin each one with the same way. They use connectors or transition phrases to move the reader forward, and try writing a short paragraph by changing the opening of each sentence. You'll immediately hear the improvement in flow and coherence. In IELTS writing, this skill belongs to the criterion called coherence and cohesion. It makes up a full quarter of your writing score. Examiners read fast. They're not counting vocabulary. They are looking for movement and logic. When your essay flows from cause to contrast to conclusion, it feels professional. So the next time you write, think beyond the sentence. Ask yourself, how does this idea connect to the one before and to the next one? If you can answer with the connectors because, however, or therefore, your essay sounds like a higher level English. Writing shows how your ideas connect on paper, but in speaking, it's not quite the same. So, next lesson, I will show you how connectors sound when spoken, how tone, rhythm, and natural pauses, pregnant pauses, I call them, which makes them all come alive. Good writing shows understanding, great writing shows connection. And when you and your sentences link smoothly, your ideas also speak loudly for you. If you haven't watched Sentence Variety, Rhythm and Confidence, go back to that one. That's where this skill begins. Then come back here and later join me for the next video on speaking connectors to complete the circle. If you enjoyed this lesson, simply subscribe to Daily English with Dr. Ho, English for everyone, for weekly lessons and build rhythm, logic, and confidence.